James Parker, you were wrong. I'm still a virgin. You'd have to be. I mean, there's no one.
She wasn't looking for fame. Not really. A girl with sun in her hair and the Pacific behind her, that was enough. But cameras have a way of finding certain faces, the kind that make people stop breathing for a second. Bo Derek's story wasn't written in a studio boardroom or an agent's office. It was written under California light, with salt air, a borrowed camera, and an accident of beauty that would turn into an obsession. In the 1970s, Hollywood was restless, craving new idols. And when Bo appeared, barefoot, bronze, and barely 20, she became the image of an era's fantasy. Yet behind that smile, behind those photographs the world would pass around like treasures, was a story far heavier than the posters ever suggested. She was still Mary Kathleen Hollins back then, a high school girl from Long Beach, more dreamer than rebel. One afternoon, a chance meeting shifted her entire path. John Derek, the older, once famous actor turned filmmaker, saw something in her that the world hadn't yet noticed. He told her she had a light no camera could fake. She believed him. Soon, she was pulled into his orbit. Art, adventure, and danger rolled together. He was in his 40s. She wasn't even 18. The connection was electric, the kind that burned through reason. When their secret surfaced, the scandal followed like wildfire. She fled to Europe with him, leaving behind half-finished adolescence and a shocked industry. What began as a love story soon became a legend and a warning. The girl from Long Beach was gone. Bo Derek was being created. Europe became their hideaway. Narrow streets, hotel balconies, quiet beaches where no one cared about headlines. Bo learned to move like someone older, quieter, more deliberate. John taught her about lenses, lighting, the art of being watched. But more than that, he built her into an idea, one the world would soon crave. He changed her name, changed her look. The platinum hair, the tan skin, the perfect symmetry that seemed sculpted for magazine covers, all carefully shaped by him. She wasn't just a girl anymore. She was a project, a muse. When they finally returned to the United States, the scandal had cooled, and Hollywood was curious. Directors whispered about the young woman who had disappeared with an older man and returned looking like an untouched fantasy. It wasn't fame yet, but it was fuel, and John was ready to ignite it. The myth of Bo Derek had started long before the world even knew her name. It started with a simple script, a romantic comedy about a man's midlife crisis. Hardly the kind of film that changes history. But when Bo walked across that beach in slow motion, wearing those cornrows and a smile the world would never forget, something seismic happened.
The movie, 10, didn't just make her famous. It defined an entire decade's fantasy of beauty. The scene became iconic, replayed endlessly, her image frozen in amber as the ultimate symbol of perfection. Overnight, she went from anonymity to obsession. Magazine covers, talk shows, every camera lens turned her way. But fame like that is never kind. The role that made her a sensation also trapped her in its shadow. People didn't want Bo. They wanted that moment, that woman, forever running down the beach. And as the applause grew louder, the isolation did too. Bo Derek had become the dream everyone desired, and the person no one really knew. Fame is loud, but behind Bo's quiet smile, there was a storm she rarely showed. John directed every frame of her life, the scripts she read, the clothes she wore, even the way she spoke on camera. He wasn't just her husband, he was her creator. And when the audience looked at Bo, he saw his reflection staring back. They built films together, Tarzan, The Ape Man, Bolero. Movies meant to capture her allure, but instead drew criticism and mockery. Reviewers dismissed her as beautiful but hollow, missing the woman beneath the image. Bo never lashed out. never defended herself loudly. She simply kept working, kept smiling, even as the industry turned cruel. At home, she found peace in routine. Her horses, her ocean walks, quiet dinners away from the spotlight. She understood that fame was a visitor, not a home. Still, it hurt to see how quickly the same world that crowned her as a goddess could turn away when it no longer needed the myth. When John Derek died in 1998, the silence was almost unbearable. For over 2 decades, he had been her director, her partner, her shadow. Suddenly, there was no one to tell her what came next. Some said she seemed freer, others saw only grief. But Bo herself stayed calm, private, letting time breathe through the loss. She didn't chase the spotlight again. Instead, she turned toward simplicity. Charities, animal rescue work, quiet advocacy, small things that mattered deeply. And then, unexpectedly, love found her again. Actor John Corbett, younger, funny, grounded. A man who saw her not as an image, but as a person. Their bond became her quiet second act. No paparazzi wedding, no red carpet spectacle. Just a shared life between ranches, animals, and laughter. Bo once said she didn't miss fame, only the freedom that came before it. In that peace, she finally found both. Time has softened her fame, but not her grace. Today, Bo Derek lives far from the noise that once defined her. She rides her horses at sunrise, tends to her ranch, and speaks rarely of the years when the world knew her face better than her voice. Yet when she does, there's no bitterness, only acceptance. She knows what those photographs meant to people. The beach, the braids, the glow. They were never lies, just fragments of a truth the world wanted to believe in. But behind every icon, there's a person who still aches, still grows, still dreams. Bo understands that now. Her story isn't about perfection or scandal, it's about survival. About a young girl who became a myth, then found her way back to being human. The cameras moved on. The world aged. But somewhere along the Pacific coast, the woman once called the perfect 10 wakes up each morning as